Peace be upon you, brothers and sisters. This is Said Mirza from MillionaireReason.com, and in today's talk, I wanted to look at the Reader website, reader.Qur'an.com, that I developed for Brother Garens. And really, the idea behind this website was to showcase Brother Garens' translation and his footnotes. And over time, this website has evolved into a Quranic study tool, and I use it quite a bit, and I know Brother Gans uses it, and other believers are using it as well. So I just think that there's a lot of functionality behind this tool. A lot of thought went into designing it to make it simple at the one end for the novice, but also more advanced for the person who wants to engage with the Quranic Arabic. And now is a good time to share this website with your friends and family, because the website, in my mind, is complete. I don't expect to add any more functionality to it. Obviously, if there's any bugs or issues like that, then we'll fix them. But for the most part, this website is fully functional and is kind of what I thought it should be. So what I wanted to do here was to give you a little bit of overview of the things that you can do on this website and how you can use it to research the Quran. So here we have the homepage, the main page of the reader.Qur'anite.com website, and as you can see, there's a chapter list here, and these are the translations of the chapters. There's no Arabic here. I wanted to make this as simple as possible for someone who's approaching the Quran who doesn't have any knowledge of Arabic, and it's supposed to cater to all sorts of audiences. So this is why the front page is English only. Now if you click on chapter 1 here, the opening, then you land on this page, and this page is supposed to mirror the hard copy. As you can see, the Arabic is on the left and the English is on the right. This is by design. Again, there should be a seamless transition between the paper and the digital. At least that was my idea behind designing this. So here you have chapter 1, and then obviously you can go up here and you can select the different chapters. You can type in the chapter name. For example, you could do star, and then the star chapter 53 opens up, or you could search on the chapter number as well, chapter 78, so that shows up as well. And what else? This gives you the Arabic name of the chapter, Al-Fatiha. This is the English, the opening, and then here's the search box. You can search on different things that it'll go through Brother Garen's translation and find them for you. So we could search on something like favored. That's a good one. And here you go. These are all the verses that contain the word favored. And so you can definitely play around with that. Let's see, what else can you do? Okay, so here you have the options button, and what that does is that it opens up the notes, translations, and the Arabic grammar. So for instance, you have here, you click on notes here, it's gonna open up all the notes that are on this page, and since there's only 7 verses in this chapter, it's gonna open them up all for this chapter. And obviously you can read the notes here if you like, or if this is too much for you, you can definitely close it by clicking on options notes again, and that closes it. You can also access the notes at a verse level by clicking on this drop down arrow here, and there's a lot of functionality here that we'll go over, but you can click notes here and that'll just open up the notes for this verse. So, and then clicking on it again will close it. So there you go. Okay, what else can you do? With the options, you can open up translations now. So there's 3 different translations that were picked, and there's a reason behind picking these 3 translators. I don't want to add any more translators because then it's just too much text, and people just get lost into your translations. And again, if you want to close all the translations, you just click close all panels, or you can click translations, and either way, these go away. Now on the verse level, you can look at the translations too. Again, the whole idea behind designing this website was to not get people overwhelmed. And so you can open up, close up things depending on what you want, what you're looking for. You might not want to look at every translation for every verse, but for one specific verse where you might say, okay, what is the other sort of viewpoint? So you can look up those translators here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close that. What else? Okay, now I'm not gonna go into Arabic grammar right now. And I'm going to leave that for later. Okay, so now if you click on the verse level, you have the same options here as we discussed. And then you also have the option to copy the Arabic, copy the English, and copy both, or copy the link. Copy link is a good feature. You can just click copy link, and then, if you send this, so for instance, if we go to verse 7 and we do copy link, now what's being copied is gonna go directly to that verse, and it's gonna highlight it. So it's a very useful tool. You can email people with this. It doesn't make any difference what platform you use, it'll take you here. And then obviously copy Arabic will copy this into your clipboard, and English will copy the English. I see a lot of people who are referencing, they just go ahead and they just go like this and they try to copy it. If you do that, you also get those footnotes, so it's not as clean as doing copy English, copy both. It's faster anyway. So, again, there's a lot of functionality here. You have to spend some time on the website to kind of appreciate the things that you can do on here. But once you get the hang of it, definitely makes it much easier to navigate the Quran. So this is sort of the, I guess, the beginner level for using the website. Now, obviously, if you know Arabic, and I know a lot of people who are interested in the Quran are, at least they can read the Arabic. They don't know what it means. Pakistanis, Indians specifically, they have no idea what it means, but they can read the Arabic. So if you're looking to up your Arabic, the Quranic Arabic, and trying to understand, obviously there's no solution for getting into a language and learning some of the grammar and the pronouns and that sort of stuff. You have to know some Arabic, but at least if you have kind of a beginner's idea of how Arabic works and what some of the words mean, at least the big words, then you can use this website to increase your knowledge of the Quranic Arabic. So for instance, this is chapter 2, right? So if we look at verse 2 and we click on Arabic grammar here, what it does, it opens up a panel, and you look at here, and then what it's doing is giving you the grammatical form for a word, as well as the base form, the root letters, the root occurrences, the 7 root occurrences. If there's more than that, it just it just gives you a dotted line. It just gives you dots, so it trims it basically. And then you have Lane's lexicon and all dictionaries. Okay, so what is the base form? The base form is what the word, what the unadorned word is. And in Arabic, the verbs, there's different forms. There's form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4, and they all have a slightly different meaning. Form 2 is a more intensive meaning of form 1. But we're getting into the nooks and crannies of Arabic. Understand that in the Quran, the words, they show up. So for instance, you have here, this is chapter 2, verse 2, word 2. So in the location here, you find it as word 1, word 2. So this word al-kitabu, which literally means the book, or as Brother Grant is translating it as the writ. The base form is kitab, and obviously that's a noun. And if you click on this base form, what it does, it goes to the Quran and it finds all these base forms. So you can go in the Quran and you can find all these base forms, where they're used and how they're used. So it's a good way to learn how the Quran is using a word. If you're familiar with Brother Gant's pentextual analysis, which is sort of the engine that drives his translation, this is what he did. And so he went through every instance of a form of a word and then looked at how it's being used. And many times this is what the dictionaries say, but sometimes there's a little bit of nuance to it, or even sometimes the words, for example, as-salat, the word has, the meaning has changed. Okay, now coming back here, what is the root letter? Root letter is the sort of the root letter is the basic form, kaf ta ba in this case. And so when you click on this, it'll go to the Quran and it'll find all the words that are, whatever forms they are, that are based on this root letter kaf ta ba. And this is a great tool. I think this is one of the best things of the website. What it does is that it lets you go through the different forms and see how the nuances are changing. So for example, you have maktub here, which means written. Right here, written. And if you do katib, that's one who writes. So you have here, write it down, katibun, okay? And tajadu katibun, and find not a writer. I'm sorry. Okay, so here you have faktabu wal yaktub. So write it down. He who writes down, bainakum katibun. So katibun here means writer. Same here, it's being used as a writer. And then here in chapter 21 verse 94, it's and we are writers for him. So katibun here, and kiramun katibin, noble and writing, or writers. So this gives you a sort of you can verify. Basically the idea is to verify his brother Garen's work and see if it stacks up to, you know, how the Quran uses it. And I've done this with a lot of words that he translated, and I found him to be on the mark. So another great thing you can do here is you can click on Lane's Lexicon, and what this does is this opens up another page for you. And I want to thank Brother Hasib Afzal for doing this for me. He went through the Quran programmatically. He went through this Lane's Lexicon website and programmatically mapped the roots. But what it does is that now you can look at the root, Lane's Lexicon, in the root for the word that's derived from the root kaf ta ba. The different words, they are all here, Lane's Lexicon. So you open this up, and then this is kataba, which is the verb, and it means he wrote it. So this is an amazing thing, because now you can look at the Lane's Lexicon, which is considered the authoritative sort of lexicon for the old Arabic, not the modern Arabic. And what it does is that it lets you read up, and obviously there's so much notes here. You could really get into the sense of a word by looking at Lane's Lexicon. Or if you prefer, you can look at all dictionaries. So this will open up this Maudid reader, and this lets you look at many dictionaries. There's Hans Werb, there's I use another one that I really like, Hava is a really good one too. So you can look at it here too. But again, you need to be able to read Arabic to be able to access this information. But once you do, you know, this is an amazing avenue. It opens up so many things for you, because you can really see what the word is used, how it's used, the examples, and then also verify in the Quran to see how it's being used in the Quran. I think another great thing that I wanted to show you here was what you can do is you can also open up this options button here, and then you can click on translations. And now what it does is that it opens up the other translators and to see how they're translating a word. And this is a great way to cross-check to see, okay, is this translator being honest with his translation? Is he juggling the words? Because that's what you see with a salat, that, you know, these traditional translators, they'll sometimes switch from prayer to from like a high level sort of like, you know, supplication or glorification to a low level, you know, the ritualistic prayer of the religion of Islam. So you can catch a lot of this stuff if you can look at the translations, and this lets you do this. So you can do a comparative analysis of how Brother Gans translates this word, and he's the most consistent. Obviously, there's some nuances to the words, and you have to translate a little bit differently. But for the most part, he's very consistent with his translation. And if he's not, he usually puts it in his nose as to why he translated it a different way. Or you can, you know, look at the different translators that are also translating and see, okay, how are they stacking up? So this is a great feature as well. Now you can also, this is kind of a recursive thing, because now you can go into Arabic grammar here, and then it'll open up the Arabic grammar for all these verses here, and then you can dive into this. So, you know, you can get really granular if you wish, if this is what you want to do. It's totally up to you, you know, how you want to use it. This website, again, it was designed to not overwhelm users, but it also lets you do things that and I don't think at the moment any other translation website is doing. The most they do is a comparative analysis. I know corpus.quran allows you to look up a word across the whole Quran, but again, the interface is clunky. It's not as intuitive as this website, and it doesn't do a lot of things that this website does. For instance, looking up the meanings in the dictionary is like going directly to a dictionary and looking up the meanings for a root. Okay, what else? So now the rationale behind putting the root occurrences here, the truncated versions, I mean, it only gives you seven root instances. If it's more than 7, it just, cuts them off. Because there's another great feature here, and this is for those people who have difficulty with accessing the internet 24/7, or they would prefer to use a sort of an offline version of the website. And I've gotten requests for doing that, and there's a couple of reasons for not doing it that way. The first is that if we update the website, the offline version will not be in sync. The second version is that everything is here, and I don't want to open up the code for any sort of open source development, because I just think that open source, this sort of development that you get a team and they work on something, you end up with stuff like light mode or dark mode and sort of frivolous stuff. I mean, this is what's happening with Qur'an.com. The initial website was great, but then they started adding all these useless features, and now you're more interested in the website and what it can do versus engaging with the Qur'an. And I wanted to have it's just me and a developer. We just kind of sat down and not physically, but virtually, we sat down and I built out the functional, and he developed the website, and he did the technical part, and I was a tester, and obviously Brother Garen's input came in there too. And then this is it. This was the team, and we built this thing, and that's it. And it's better this way versus having like 5 people fighting over this or that. At least that's my philosophy. Okay, so now the cool thing about this is that you can do a print. Now, if you go here on Chrome, and you can do a print, and this is, it doesn't make any difference using Firefox or not. This guy, what it'll do is, if you do a print, then it's gonna go ahead and it's gonna make a hard copy. Okay, and here you have the Quran. What this will do is let you print it out so you can study it, if you don't have the internet. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, so you close all panels and you open up notes. Okay, so you have the notes opened up, and you open up translations, and you open up Arabic grammar. So you're going for the full, full Monty. You want everything, right? I wouldn't suggest you do it this way, but you could. Now what you do is you go here and you go, okay, I want to do a print. And obviously it's going to take a while. You're chugging along. Okay, 74 pages it comes out to chapter 2. And it's taking its sweet time. Anyway, so here you have chapter 2. And these are only, I think, the first 49 verses. Okay, here you go. This is all the verses they are. And you have the full Arabic grammar panel here. You have the translations, and you have Brother Garen's notes. Now, suppose obviously this is a lot of paper. You don't want to, you don't want the Arabic grammar. You can turn that off, and now you just have. So you can play around with this, and suppose you don't want anything, you can do that as well. But what it does is that now it lets you print it out, and you can take it with you and do the same Quranic study offline. For this is really good for chapters that are at the end of the Quran, which aren't that big. For instance, chapter 65. Well, let's do something. The Star, I like that chapter. Okay, 53. So this isn't that big of a chapter. It's only 2 pages. So about 62 verses total. And you can open up the translations for this and the Arabic grammar. And the Arabic grammar now here is where this thing really shines, because obviously you know that the words at the end of the Quran, they're not used that frequently. So you have this truncated list, and you can get a sense of the word by looking at these chapters and verses. Now, obviously, you have here chapter 2, verse 145, and location 22. You click on this guy, and it's gonna open up a new page, and it's gonna take you to that word, the verse, and then you can even count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna be 22, right? So you have this word being used here, ahwahum, which means vain desires, and is used here as vain desire as well, because Brother Gans is very consistent and thorough with his translation. But here's the cool thing. You don't need to go ahead and click this. If you print this out, it's here for you. You can use your own Quran, like those Saudi Quran books that you get, the compact ones. You can take it. You can number the surahs, with a post-it note or something. And this way you can go directly to that surah and read that whole surah in an offline mode. So you don't need the website. And if you read a couple of these verses, you will get a general idea of how it's being used in the Quran. So this, I think, is a great feature for those people who are, looking to get into the Quranic study offline, which I honestly I recommend, because with the screen and it's very distracting. You can gain a lot more by doing sort of a offline copy. So the rest of the features, search by root is great for those of you who read the Arabic, who understand the Arabic, and they have an idea. Okay, I remember, that Rab is Ra Ba Ba. You can go search by root, click here, and then you can look it up, Ra Ba Ba, and then it'll give you all the verses that contain this that have the word that is based on the roots, Ra Ba Ba. But this was already there before, so it's not some new development. Okay, one more thing I wanted to go back. If you go at the bottom of all these pages, you'll see links here: give back, buy books, download audio resources, download SQL, give back, contribute to Brother Garen's endeavor. He's put in a lot of work for this, and everything is available for free. So you should support him. Buy books. You can buy his book if you haven't. That's a great way to support his work. Download audio. This is amazing. You can click here. It'll take you to the audio translations. The audio that he's spoken, the Brother Garens has spoken onto the MP3 format. You can download this and play it in your car. You don't need access to the internet to do this. Or if you want access to the internet, you have YouTube, you can always go on my channel where I've taken these recordings and I put them into YouTube. So that's there as well. Resources, this takes you to Brother Garen's website. You can download the PDF for the Quran, a complete revelation from there, and download SQL. If you are interested in developing a website, or you already have a website, a comparative website analysis that translates, then you can use this Brother Garen's translation, download it in SQL format. Again, the code is not open and it's not open source, and I'm not planning on making it open source because I just think that the way it's set up, it works, and the whole point of making this website was to help make people navigate the Quran easier and to engage with the Quran. It was not to build all these features and bells and whistles that are, I think, pointless, and they serve no purpose besides just clicking on this and clicking on that and increasing the font size and that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's some utility to that. I'm not discounting everything, but for the most part, I think they end up detracting from the mission of the application. So I do have a background in computer science, so I have built websites like this before at this scale in my previous sort of work line, so I am familiar with the technologies. Obviously, I am aging and there's no new stuff out there that I'm not familiar with, and I really don't have an interest in learning those new technologies. I have had requests from people who wanted to build an app. I think it's a great idea, but there's a lot of issues that need to be dealt with first of all is the whole copyright thing, like who is going to own the app, because whatever is built needs to comply with the design philosophy of Qur'anite.com, I think. And I think the website as it is works perfectly on the apps as well, on the mobile phones or tablets or whatever, so there really is no need for an app. It is superfluous, but I just wanted to address that as well. Anyway, I do consider reader.coronite to be the work to be almost completed, and I think again it's a great resource for those who are interested in the Quranic Arabic, and it showcases Brother Garen's work for someone who wants an easy to navigate way to look at his work, and I think it accomplishes that really well. So anyway, that's it for now. I hope this presentation was some use to you. God willing, until next time, peace and blessings be upon you.